encouraged me and provided this opportunity for me to speak a few words on this particular title. Next, I express my thanks to all the administrators, particularly deans of arts and science and controller of examination of Sri Pushpam College, for having permitted the department to have such a program. Thank you, one and all. Now, the business session. Why I chose this topic? Because nowadays students are sometimes very inattentive, carelessness, not listening to, sometimes misbehave. In that situation, how an English faculty should tackle the situation or how to draw their attention towards our lecture. Graduates are more in number. Every year we produce thousands of graduates, but they are not getting a job. Many of them are jobless, job-seeking graduates. What is our duty while we are inside the class? There are some 10 steps to be followed before we are going to take class. Number 1, preparation, motivation, speak with confidence, performance, bodily language, voice modulation, eye contact, how to say and not what to say, good rapport, trash unwanted fillers. Let me explain. First, preparation. The faculty of the Department of English must prepare every day before they are going inside the class. Show some gratitude, positive attitude, smiling face. Observe 2 minutes silence before you start the class. Power up your posture. Attitude is everything. Develop a proactive attitude. You must say a clear phrase that could relate to the audience. First of all, we should have a relationship with the audience. Once Swami Vivekananda was there in America, he uttered the colloquial utterance on the title, Why We Disagree. Why we disagree is not a question, it is a personal statement, and you understand it is a colloquial utterance. Why do we disagree? That is a question. Why we disagree is not a question, relative statement. So it shows the intimacy between the audience and the speaker. Similarly, the creator God and desired God, Lord Shiva, are the Shelley's west wind, destroyer and preserver. Like this, you have to make a relationship with the audience before you are going to deliver your address. Then motivation. How are you going to motivate the boys? Those who are coming from different backgrounds. So here, know your audience level. Whether they are UG program or PG program or MPhil program. So you should understand the levels of the audience and then their interest. The lesson we taught already, what should be taught and what should I start. According to this knowledge of the audience, the faculty should evolve their own method and technology to improve the theme. It may be either a quotation or a simile or an irony or rhetorical questions. We have to pose so many questions or recapitulating the lesson we taught. For example, why are we going to temple? Or why are we going to church? Why are we kneeling down in front of the dais? Why are we closing our eyes? Why are we folding our hands? And while we are praying, why our heads are turned towards high? So like this, you have to ask so many WH questions before you start your class. The rhetorical questions draw the attention of the audience and fix their attention on the theme. So that motivation is very, very important for the faculty and to sustain the interest of the audience. Here I wish to say that Lord Krishna motivated Lord Arjuna for fighting with his kith and kin. Lord Arjuna did not like to fight against his kith and kin. In that occasion, E.M. Foster wrote in his essays titled Hymn Before Action, Lord Krishna posed 3 questions. Why are you taking this birth? What is your duty as a soldier on the battlefield? What is your responsibility as a younger brother to your elder brother? So these are the 3 questions posed by Lord Krishna to Lord Arjuna, and he himself explained and answered for all those 3 questions. At the end of the explanation, Arjuna jumped into the battlefield and fight against the Kauravas. There was a dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna needs some explanation and clarification. He is unwilling to fight. He was trembling. Yeah. Arjuna needs some clarification. He was unwilling to fight. He was so trembling. How can I fight against my brothers, against my kith and kin? So I don't want to fight. Please tell me. Death is not a solution. We have to forgive them. Now Krishna motivates him. Why are you taking this birth? Because to eradicate all the evil doers. By that you send them to rebirth. According to Socrates in his death sentence, death is a gateway to enter into another life. Death is not an end, but it is a means to enter into the gate of freedom. Gate of freedom. It is unavoidable. It is inevitable. The one who does evil, he does to reap evil. As you sow, you will reap. Provide opportunity for the stakeholders to ask questions. Once Vivekananda attended an English class, Professor Hasty, the principal, in the absence of the class teacher, taught the poem Excursion, which was written by Wordsworth. In that poem, he had explained, you can see God through nature. Nature is God. And Vivekananda stood up. At the age of 17, he posed a question, Sir, can you show me God? Did you see God? And the teacher did not get irritation. Instead, he directed him to meet Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and he will show you God. And Vivekananda tried to meet Swami Sri Ramakrishna. At last, he became the disciple of Ramakrishna. Allow them to question. Prepare the students to ask some intellectual questions. Provide opportunity. Motivate them to speak freely. Here, now we come to the third point, speak with confidence. Again, we come back to Lord Krishna. He ascertained that Arjuna, you should fight against your kith and kin. இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். Arjuna was trembling. He was unwilling to fight. But Krishna, chose him as fighter and to eradicate all the evil doers. How can I fight against my kith and kin? And Krishna says, it's you only. You should fight. You ought to fight. You must fight. You should fight. Because you are taking this birth to eradicate all the evil doers on the earth. Not only that, it is your duty, bounden duty as a soldier on the battlefield. You should fight against and attack the enemies. By that, you should bring name and fame to your brother. Above all, it's your responsibility as an younger brother to your elder brother Dharma to protect him from all the evils and the derogation and humiliation. Bring him victory by your act of killing your enemies. So Lord Krishna motivated Lord Arjuna by explaining the duty and the responsibility of Arjuna. At last he was convinced and jumped into the battlefield and fight against the kith and kin. The faculty of the class, in the classroom, must speak with confidence, affirmation and confirmation. You have to build the confidence in the minds of the audience that unemployment problem will be eradicated by your skill and knowledge. Make them enrich skills to face the future problems. Next, here, if you act, the students will react. If you teach, they will perform. And now I reminded of telling Modiji's saying, inform, perform and transform. Whenever he addresses, he used to say inform, transform and perform. Similarly, we teachers of English must inform, transform and perform. So now we come to the fourth point, performance of the faculty. The faculty should be acting as a star performer. How? He must use bodily languages, facial expressions, gestures and not stand in a particular place. He will be acting as a star performer. Take a tragedy scene from Caesar, Macbeth, Hamlet, Othello, or imagine Draupadi's lamentation, Kannagi's argument, Sakuntala's argument, Sandramati's lamentation, or the dispute between Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, or any impressionistic scene or situation to be highlighted with voice modulation. By that, you will be acting as a star performer and captivating the attention of the students. Another story I would like to tell you, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, when he studied 8th standard, his teacher by name Sivasubramani Iyer taught him physical chemistry. There are 3 chemistry in the 8th standard: physical chemistry, organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry. And that teacher, Subramani Iyer, taught him physical chemistry, in which he used birds as illustration. The picture was drawn on the blackboard. He explained everything about the chemical energy. At the end of the class, the teacher asked the boys, "Have you understood? Or how many of you have understood this lesson? Raise your hands." Only 10 students raised their hands, not all. The rest of the 30 students not raising their hands. One of them was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. At last, Abdul Kalam stood up and said to the teacher, "Sir, I do not understand." Then the teacher says, "My way of teaching is not to shoot to you now. So you all come to seashore at the stroke of 4 o'clock in the evening. There I will explain." Then the students assembled there. The teacher came there, asked the boys to see the seagull birds fly over the sea. The tail of the bird is used for turning the bird. The wings are used to lift up and come down. The energy comes from the body, and the way the bird wanted to fly, it flies. It determines the direction, it will go up and down. Like that, if you determine your direction as faculty of English, you will reach your direction. Energy comes from within. That day, Kalam decides to study aeronautic engineering. Then he was studying 8th standard. Teachers must provide opportunity for the boys to ask questions. If they do not understand, change the way of teaching. You have to shift to machine-assisted teaching, PowerPoint presentation, OHP, LCD projector, computer or laptop. Next, I come to the body language. Let your hand and face communicate at first. Trash unwanted fillers. Show positive attitude. Grinding, murmuring, stammering, roaring, sneezing, splashing, hussing, hissing, and these sounds make the boys attract and they will fix their attention on your lecture. Don't be nosy with questions. Watch your rate of speech. 190 words per minute if a speaker must speak. Then only he should draw the attention of the audience. Hand waving, facial expressions, gestures, head nodding, these are all, draw the attention of the audience and sustain it for a long time. Then voice modulation is very, very important. For this, I like to bring to your attention Draupadi's speech at the parliament. Your voice must be audible, like a bronze bell, louder. It must attract and control over, not to use a husky voice. You concentrate on accent, pitch, stress, intonation, rising, falling tone. Then only you could capture the attention of the audience. Vivekananda, when he was in Chicago, he delivered the address as a bronze bell on the stage. C.N. Annadurai was a lion on the stage. All great men's speeches were very looking like a bronze bell. They were attracting by their, effective utterances. Then eye contact is very, very important. These are all you all know. The voice modulation, body language, eye contact, but still it's my duty to make you aware of the young entrants of the department, new entrants of the department must understand the bodily features, eye contact, etc. Kannaki, when she was at the court of Pandya, and she looked at the eyes of Pandya. You must be very straight, focus your eyes on the king. And he says, "Oh watchman, tell your king that a woman who lost her husband wanted to have justice and asked him to come out." So this was a bold utterances made by Kannaki to the watchman. "Oh watchman, tell your king that I am a woman who lost her husband, come here to get justice." And the watchman runs towards the king's room and called upon. There is a woman who was standing outside. I don't know that she is a woman, and she looks like a devil. Her hairs are falling down, and her holy hairs on her forehead disappeared, and the eye drops on her cheek were were rose. So I do not believe that she is a woman. She is more than that. Called her you out. And this was the message I would like to bring in to understand eye contact. Kannagi always talked to the king with a strong eye and eye contact. So it is very, very important for a teacher to have eye contact and voice modulation, and how to say and not what to say. This is the way in which you teach that will bring impression, that will bring attraction, that will bring motivation. The way you teach will impress and attract the interest of the audience. Sustain it for a long time. By using various techniques and strategies, you can fix their attention. For example, Shakuntala's argument. Shakuntala, when she lost her ring, she went to the Dushyanta's court along with her 16 years old son. 16 years old son Bharat. And there, Yuvaraja, there she, told the watchman, "Oh watchman, tell your king that I am his legal wife coming. Tell your king that I am his legal wife coming." And the watchman went inside and told Dushyanta, "Your legal wife is coming, she sold, and he calls you out." And there was a dialogue between Dushyanta and Shakuntala regarding to prove that she is the legal wife. At last, she proved that she is the legal wife of Dushyanta. So the way in which she tries to prove herself that she is the legal wife of Dushyanta is taken into consideration. It will impress the audience by using various techniques and strategies. And you have to use parallelism or restatement or repetition. For example, help. Help is a word. It has to be divided into three: mental health, physical health, then spiritual health. The physical health will be satisfied by giving money or food or etc. or clothes. Or mental health by satisfying by giving money. You are going to remind the semester fees or book you purchase for your friends, etc. But it will be coming again and again. Physical help and mental help will be coming again and again. You will not satisfy always. But if you provide spiritual help, that will eradicate all the causes of suffering. So spiritual help is the foremost help which one needs to eradicate all the misery of the world or the causes of the suffering. So the help is divided into three: physical help, mental help and spiritual help. So here I use repetitively the word help. So the English faculty must use repetition as a technique, irony as a technique, parallelism as a technique. Here for parallelism, I would like to tell you, Bharati compared India with Italy. India is consisting 30 crores of people and Italy is also consisting 20,000 people. Italy is covered with water in three directions. Similarly, India is covered with water in three directions. Italy is covered with Yale mountain in the north direction and India is covered with the Himalayan mountain in the north direction. Italy is addicted by British, so as India is addicted by British. Italy is trying to get freedom now. Similarly, India is trying to get freedom now. So, the parallel ideas, parallel sentence structure, noun phrase or verbal group, etc. is to be used as a technique. Parallelism, restatement, repetition are used as the strategy to capture the attention of the audience. There is a triangle: theme, levels of the audience and strategy you adopt. If you understand clearly all these three: strategy, theme and the levels of the audience, all these three are interrelated. If you understand these three modes, your lecture will be a successful one. So if you clearly understand these three, your lecture will be a successful one. Now we come to good rapport. So this is the 9th point among all the 10. This is nothing but naming some students or experts on the dais or your friends then and there sitting. Call out their names then and there. Know the temperament of the students, attitude of the boys and girls, and you have to behave in a very friendly manner by using colloquial utterances. So severe teacher and a sincere student. Here I just want to tell you one thing. In those days when we were studying in the elementary schools or middle schools, teachers are coming to the boys' houses. They used to come to visit the houses of the boys, whether they are studying or not, then and there. And we were caught when we were very, very young. Teachers are coming to the village, remote villages, to pick up the boys, those who are not willing to go to school. And they collected some 30 students and 50 students from village and giving admission. Every day they used to go to village. So here, you need not go to village. You need not go to every house. But you have to build a rapport. That rapport brings success in your lecture. So it is very, very important as an English faculty to build a good rapport at first. By that you have to post colloquial utterances or personal utterances or personal testimony. For that you can tell a story. Personal testimony is used as a strategy. Once Swamiji was in, Swami Vivekananda was in Varanasi. He was new to that, city. In a particular street, he had to walk upon. In that street, there were brutal monkeys. He did not know where to go and how to escape from the attack of the brutal monkeys. He was about to run. The monkeys were also about to run. And he was running very fast. The more he runs very fast, the monkeys also following Swami Vivekananda. He did not know how to escape from the attack of the monkeys. At last, there was a man who was standing at the corner of the street, shouted out, "Face the brutes! Oh man, face the brutes!" And immediately Swamiji turned back and all the brutal monkeys flew back. They make their appearance disappear. Here, brutal monkeys refer to sufferings of the people, ignorance of the people, and they are not able to understand. So you have to, give hope and scope for the students to ask questions, and you have to eradicate the suffering of the people. So you make them question. So here, my dear beloveds, to understand, face the brute. This is within inverted comma. Face the brute, here, face your suffering, face your difficulties, enrich communicative skill, identify the problem of the students, why they were not focusing their attention. So all these points taken into consideration to be a successful speaker inside a classroom. The last one is trust unwanted fillers. That is jealousy, envy, aggressiveness, insecurity, adamant, carelessness, and ignorance. So how are you going to avoid all these? Obama was born with great mind and great technique. Gandhiji was born with a sympathetic mind and concern for poor. Nehruji was born with a silver spoon and great eye, concern for downtrodden. Ambedkar was born with great intellect and concern for downtrodden. Abdul Kalam was born with great aim, like Newton, Einstein, Edison, Hitler, Napoleon, Alexander, and Indira Gandhi. Faculties are a role model to the stakeholders. You must make an appeal to hope of employment, appeal to hope of good citizen, appeal to hope of good character, appeal to hope of human relationship, appeal to hope of human rights, appeal to hope of human equality, appeal to hope of human fraternity and graduation. So you make the students to appeal the hope of the future. You must have the deep understanding of the need of the students, that is employment opportunity. That is our responsibility. You have to build up hope in the young minds. That is their future. Education is a national civic duty according to Obama. Make the boys and girls greedy of their dreams. Provide opportunity for them to think over continuous struggle for acquiring a better job. Enrich them by multi-talented, skill-oriented jobs. Here, my dear beloveds, I would like to say, we know something about the rude people. Till now, I have been explaining 10 steps to be followed as English faculty inside the classroom. This is not much useful for the senior faculties, but the new entrants of the department nowadays are afraid of going into the class. So it will be much useful for them to follow all these 10 steps before they are going to the class. So how to reach when someone insults you, how to react when someone insults you, how to deal with the rude people. This is much useful for the new entrant. This has happened in Madras and some southern part of Tamil Nadu, and even in middle school and elementary schools. Boys are so arrogant, so mischievous, so misbehaving inside the class. towards the opposite sex. So you pose some questions. Why are you insulted? Do you feel insecure? Jealousy? Lack of communication? Teasing is cooling. Be calm. Keep quiet. Sometimes later you express how and what you exactly feel in a smooth manner. Simply ignore their way of utterances or use a humor. These are to be reported to the head of the department. Indulge in self-care or document yourself. In this situation, how to make you awesome, how to respond to an insult. It may be an aggressive one or criticizing. Who am I to disrespecting or who am I to insult? Students' misbehavior towards faculty is nothing to do with the causes of the students' insult. Maybe some filters, that is insecure feeling, fear, jealousy, color, sex, knowledge, lack of understanding and deviating their attention. So you have to understand all these filters, and you try to remove all those filters, and there would not happen the misbehavior or rude activity inside the classroom. All these depend on the observer's filter, the audience filter, the student's filter, so as to teachers not to take into your account the fake appreciation. Don't think that you are insulted. What was the word aggressive or rude? It comes from detached observer. He becomes rude. What can I radiate? What can I do for? Criticism, abuse, rude, blaming? No. It's all because of your inability to control over or not focusing your attention on the boys. It's all because of your inability to control over or not focusing your attention on the mischievous boys. Don't hesitate. You defeat a defeatance. Once Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was attending an interview at Dehradun. There 200 participants were participating in that interview. They have selected only 8 interview, but I was not given a job. I have prepared well, but I was unable to prove myself. I was not given a job, so I have lost it. But I prepared well, so that I was somewhat not feeling well. And Swamiji started preaching Bhagavad Gita's 18th chapter. That is, defeat your defeatance. That is, you will act, you will give a throw or a beat to your defeatance, so that you will be a great man in due course of time. Your defeat is not considered as a defeat, and you will learn from this. People are learning from failures to success. So Swamiji taught him how to enrich his higher knowledge and how to work hard. The essential duty of an individual is to work hard to attain knowledge. So this was preached by Swamiji Maharaj to Abdul Kalam, and Abdul Kalam from there somewhat consoled and convinced and came back to Delhi, and from Delhi to Chennai, and from Chennai to Rameswaram. So he takes Swamiji's words as mantra, and from then onwards he has been working on that. A very hard worker. At last he had achieved his theme. So you pose some questions. Don't react. How to deal with the real people? Don't think that. You just ignore them. My dear beloveds, you keep quiet. Sometime later you express how you feel or what you feel exactly in a smooth manner. Use a humor. These are to be reported to the head of the department. Indulge in self-care or document yourself. In this situation, how to make you awesome. The causes of the students' insults may be some filters. Just now I told you. Not to take into account the fake appreciation. What can I radiate? I can radiate the knowledge, the motivation, the inspiration, the futurity in the minds of the audience. Focusing your attention on. Don't hesitate. Defeat your defeatance. Improve your communication skill. You are not taking into your account the appreciation, fake appreciation. Reply with I see, thank you, stay calm. Choose not to react. Say, I appreciate your perspectives. Keep going. Don't use shut up. Put across your point of view. Then laugh it away. So these are all the techniques to be used while one insults you. Tell them the family background, economical status of the student. You should have a great aim. Acquire knowledge. Do hard work. You as faculty member have perseverance. Radiate the knowledge the way you teach them. You young people do not fear the future. The world is wide. Security and prosperity is still there. What is knowledge according to APJ Abdul Kalam? It is fact, evidence, logic and reason. Try to teach all these four to your students. Ignorance is not a virtue. Why are you coming to college? Why you? Why are you coming to regular college? Why are you preferring this college? So ask some questions and made them realize their family background, made them realize their suffering, and then onwards they will not react against you. So why are you coming? Beloveds, you understand, don't the boys who became rude will not react from then onwards. Now, past is a waste paper, present is a newspaper, and future is a question paper. You have to taught how the question paper would be. Once Trichy MP Mr. Siva posing 2,744 questions in a year in the Member of Parliament. Because of this questioning spirit, he has become a very famous man in the Parliament. 2,744 questions he posed. And he raised Tanjavur Big Temple and Grand Anaket to be announced as world wonders. Because before we are measuring or calculating the world wonders, these are constructed. The Pragadishwara temple and the Grand Anaket. In those days, we did not have architect or engineers, so that these two to be included in the world wonders. He raised these questions in the Parliament, Delhi. So, because of his questioning spirit, he has become a very famous parliamentarian in Delhi. So, success lies in two words: persistence and resistance. Persist in what must be done and resist what ought not to be done. Now we remember the last words uttered by great men like John F. Kennedy. Ask not what the nation will do for you. Ask what else you do for the nation. Martin Luther King always says, I have a dream, I have a dream. Both black and white, men and women are joining together. The day is not far off. It will be very soon. Your sons and my sons, your daughters and my daughters will be joined together. They will have coffee under the same coffee house. They will not be separated in due course of time. The day is not far off. It is very soon. So I have a dream on my hand. 500 score years. I have a dream. My forefathers, great grandfathers, they have all the same dream. I have the dream that your sons and my sons will be eradicating all the discrimination, caste discrimination, creed discrimination, color discrimination. They will be joined together in discourse of time. So teach your students all the great men's speech, all the great men's last words uttered by them. Now, Abraham Lincoln, he says, democracy is for the people, of the people, by the people. And Gandhiji says, hey Ram, when he was put into death, he says, hey Ram. And Indira Gandhi says, the last drop of my blood is for the development of my nation. It was written in Delhi at Indira Gandhi's house, where she was falling down when she was shot. The last drop of my blood is for the development of my nation. This is the last word uttered by Indira Gandhi when she was falling down at shot. And then Julius Caesar's last words, you too gritty. So the last words will motivate the boys to understand and fix their attention. There are 4 types of learning. Now we come to the virtual classroom. There are 4 types of learning: understanding, memorizing, discovering the relationship with understanding, recognizing the logical, psychological, sound responses, autonomous learning, collaborative learning, meaningful learning, intentionality, content centrality, and authenticity. What are the learning outcomes? Purposeful activity, achievement of a definite goal, mastering of all basic skills, LSRW, positive emotions like appreciation, observation, concentration, verbatim repetition, overlearning, that is learner's ability to add his own. Faculty must have a clarity of abstract ideas, chronological, physiological, psychological, anatomical, and mental. You should understand the educational age, emotional age, social age, moral age, and religious age of the students. Now we come to know more about the strategy we adopted into the virtual classroom. That is technology. You yourself pose the questions. How many of us using OHP or computer or laptop or PPT presentation inside a classroom, even in the first year? You may say it is not necessary in literature class, but the NAC committee or UGC or the academic council committee or IQSC cell, when they come to your department to verify, to judge your department, they need ICT mode of teaching, educational technology and communicative technology. How far have you been using inside a classroom? How many PPT presentations are there? Have you done? Where is the document? Where is the proof? How many films related to literature like face-to-face plays or Karnataka plays you played? Shakuntala, how many of them have you seen? So all these questions will be posed by the NAC committee members, IPSL coordinator or the academic council member or autonomous committee member to the head of the department. It is very difficult for the head of the department to give all these documents. So everything will be documented. How many PPT presentation was done inside your classroom? How many seminars in OHP taken by the students? So everything will be documented. How many slides or PPT seminar done by the student? So think over it and have document for all these activities. How many PTA meetings were conducted? How many times the tutor met with the parents? All these are documented. What is education according to Swami Vivekananda? Education is the manifestation of the perfection already present in every man and human. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already present in every man and woman. Our duty is to provide opportunity for the students to exercise their hidden talents. In a distance education, that is online education, we have to go beyond the classroom. The quality of teaching and learning must be increased. Technology must be adopted in online lecture. Some of us do not know PPT presentation, PPT preparation. We have to learn machine-assisted teaching. That is educational technology or communicative technology. What is commerce? A layman can answer. It is telling and selling. Within inverted comma, telling and selling. In the global market, we have to prepare our students to compete and to get success. So what is education? Right to ask. Career-oriented, job-oriented, employability, skill-oriented teaching. For that, we have to equip ourselves. Nowadays, we have much challenges to undergo. Education is for employment. Education is for placement. So, we faculties must provide opportunity and hope for the students to behave. So, faculties must acquire skills. We must know the organizational needs and the student demands. Faculty must understand the organizational need and the student's demand. If a corporate person comes to a college for placement, he may expect creativity, independence, problem-solving skills, communicative skills. These are to be taught and to be acquired by the students. So if a placement cell comes to a department, they will definitely test their communicative skill of the students. We honestly think over how many of our students are knowing flawless speaking or communicative skill. So it is our duty to prepare our students to speak fluently and to get success. Faculties must think or plan your teaching methodology for online classes. Teaching and practice one has to think of. We have to motivate them for online assignment submission, project submission, thesis submission, etc. We have to conduct workshop or group discussion. The emotional aspect of the faculty and students must be kept aloof. There is no space for classroom engagement or classroom teaching. There is no difference between online class or face-to-face classroom. Faculties must have research strategy or teaching strategy so as learning too. Learning outcome, course outcome and the program outcome. Taxonomy attitude, domain, psychomotor, public domain and humanity, instructional design. These three you must know. Course objectives, course outcome, domain, psychomotor domain, public domain or humanity and instructional design. These three will put together and make you a successful teacher. You should have the ability to connect it. Whether the requirement to fulfilled or not, encourage the creative works and original works of the students Identify the failures, find out the causes and analyze them. You find the remedy for them. In psychomotor domain, faculty should make them articulate. You should provide opportunity for the students to speak, guided response. In interactive domain, enable them in practical learning and practical teaching. If they do not interact, change your method of teaching. You should conduct a pre-test and you should know how to utilize media in the classroom teaching. There is a hierarchy. Course manager is there, that is HOD. Course coordinator is there, that is tutor, and program coordinator is there, that is subject in charge. You all three join together, have a blueprint of the online course or subject, what to be taught, framing the syllabus, method of teaching, hours of teaching, skill acquired, technology adopted, test will be conducted, and maximum marks, the examination, and the at last outcome. Now we design the course structure, communication method, lecture method, demonstration method, workshop or teleconference, etc. One may choose email, WhatsApp, YouTube or etc. You should provide an opportunity for the students to know your availability at first. Now you come back to course outcome. What are the course outcomes? That is contents, specific objectives, program objectives. Always remember them. How many classes? One used radio, computer, laptop, OHP, PPT presentation, etc. Feedback is very, very important. That should be getting very immediately and revise your method of teaching while you are taking online classes. Swami Mukundananda at Ramakrishna Ashramam explains that failure is constant learning process. He illustrates it with a suitable example of seed versus seed. Here in India, palm seed or bamboo seed, after sowing, it takes 5 years to appear. Then it grows very fastly, as much as tall within 6 months. For the roots to grow, young root takes 5 years. The students who do not understand your class, identify them. Ask them what is their requirement, what is their problem. We make success from failures, but the thing is, we have to understand our responsibility. Is it not our responsibility to provide a scope and hope for their future employment? Is it not our responsibility to make them affirm and confirm their skill of communication? Is it not our responsibility to prepare them for future job-oriented courses? Is it not our responsibility to make them enrich their communication skill? Is it not our responsibility to enable them in competence and performance theory? Okay, if we clearly understand our responsibility, no students will be unemployed. Duty of the student and duty of the faculty, both are interrelated. The fern plant like bamboo tree, kept deepening its roots for 5 years and within 6 months it grows 100 feet. You have to lay a very good foundation in the minds of the audience for fast learning. Train the minds of the students. Beloveds, to understand, it is very, very important. How are you going to train the students in online classes or in a virtual classroom? So you have to assign assignments and workshops or group discussions. Provide opportunity and make them join together. Provide some dialogue, conversation, and you motivate them. Students' nature is not to come forward, and we teachers motivate them to speak inside the class, and we provide them some glues, some guides, and for that they will enrich and they will react and they will try to speak in front of their classmates. So here, my dear beloveds, understand, every day you practice. Every day the exercise is very, very important. 99% of perspiration and 1% is inspiration. There are barriers in career, but aim higher. Dream it, being fearless. Let your dream flies. Give them wings that you have to tell your audience. Faculties, I would like to tell you one thing. The power of words is stirring, inspiring, motivating, captivating, thought-provoking, providing opportunity and make them successful man in their life. Identify the depressive and teach him that it is his character building day. The depressive day is a character building day for the students. So identify them, motivate them, console the students and provide opportunity to think about their family background, their nature, their suffering, and that they will not react in a very rude manner. They will be obliging, they will be obeying, and they will be lending their ears towards you always. So you have to make the boys realize their situation and their suffering. The causes of suffering will be taught. Make the boys understand the necessity of coming to college, the necessity of getting graduation, the necessity of getting job. So all these points, if you make them realize, they will not react in a very rude manner and they will be always obeying. Here, I will be reminded of telling my story. Once I was in MPhil class, Dr. B. Krishnamurthy was taking the class in Sri Pushpam College, Pundi. Before taking MPhil class, I was lying on the bench and I slept. I did not know at what time the classes commenced. And after the class is over, Dr. P. Krishnamurthy wakes me up and asked me, "Why are you sleeping? Why did not you attend my class? You always slept. What is there inside? Tell me." Then I was hesitating. "Sir, before the commencement of the class, I entered the classroom and I lied on the bench till my classmates arrived. And I did not know at the time of commencement of the class. Please, sorry sir, I will not act hereafter." Like that I told him. But he compelled me. "What makes you sleep? Give it in writing." And I started, hesitating, and I was so afraid of, because I am going to get my TC the next day, so that I am afraid of, and I don't want to write it down. And he compelled me to give it in writing. Why you slept? The causes of your sleeping. And I started writing in English. And he says, "Your English is not understandable. Try to give it in writing in your own mother tongue. Then only I should understand what exactly happened to you." Then I started giving it in writing, 3 pages. And the letter was taken by Dr. B. Krishnamurthy to the principal, and the principal did not know what it is about. And he sent the letter along with some files to Ayya. And Ayya that evening read that letter. The next day morning, without informing, he came to the college at the stroke of 9:30. All are wondering. His arrival in the college is already informed every day, but today he did not inform. Without informing, he arrived at college at the stroke of 9:30. I entered into the principal's room, and from principal's room there was a peon coming to the Department of English by name Alagappan. Called upon the head of the department and Dr. P. Krishnamurthy to the principal's room. You are called by the principal, and they too went to the principal's room. And another peon comes from principal's room to the Department of English. "The boy who gave a letter yesterday is called to the principal. Please you go." And Dr. Angappan, the boy who gave a letter yesterday, stood up. The boy stood up. And he asked the boy to go to meet the principal. And already there were Dr. B. Krishnamurthy and Dr. Sharma. The principal is there. There were 3 members in front of Ayya. And after reaching the principal's room, Ayya asked the principal, "Don't you know the background of the boy?" And he posed the same question to the head of the department. "Don't you know the background or the way in which how the boy is coming from his home to college?" And the HOD did not open his mouth, the principal is not opening his mouth, and at last he asked Dr. BKM, "You are a class in charge, don't you know the background of the boys, or how they are coming to college, or everything?" They all kept quiet. At last, Ayya asked me, "What do you want? Whether are you willing to stay in the hostel, or in my home, or in the government hostel, etc. Or do you like to have some money for coming to college?" Like that. And the boy told Ayya, "Sir, I want some money to come to college and to support my further study, to buy some books, etc. etc." Every month, Ayya was providing 500 rupees for the boy's education, and the boy gets through the examination at the first attempt in his MPhil, and the boy is none other than the resource person now in front of you. So Ayya is providing a great opportunity and extending his fullest cooperation, financial assistance to the boy after knowing the boy's background. So similarly, we teachers of English, we have to identify the depressive, we have to identify the frustrated, we have to identify the disappointment boys, and we have to convince the boys. There are many boys from rural background. We have to identify, console those boys. By that we can make a wonderful or successful man in the course of time. Beloveds, you understand, this is happened in Pundi College in the year 1985. So all the faculties from then onwards focus their attention on the individual attention on the boys, and they prepare the list of boys' background, how they are coming, where they are coming from, and what their educational qualification, what their background, economical status, everything they collected. And from there, there is a change in the Pundi Pushpam College. All teachers are aware of knowing the background of the students. So we teachers, is it not our responsibility to know the background of the students? Is it not our responsibility to identify the depressive? Is it not our responsibility to give scope and hope for future? Okay, my dear beloveds, you understand. It is our responsibility and duty to identify the depressive, the frustrated, the disappointed students and make them aware of their future. So this is the last word. I just want to tell you, like Modi ji says, inform, transform, perform. This is my last word. Motivate, cultivate, activate. Inform, perform, transform. Educate and not agitate. Help and not fight. Harmony and peace and not secession. Association and not deviation. Appreciation and not derogation. Again I say, motivation, cultivation, activation. With this, I wish to conclude my speech, and once again I express my sincere thanks to all the participants and the convener Dr. R. Shanti, who provided me this great opportunity, and my dear friends and colleagues in the department and the management who provided me this opportunity. Thank you one and all.